Here's what's coming up on today's show.
So understanding the emotional side of money is something that I've had training on as well, to help people kind of connect the money to the emotional side for people, to help them figure out what their goals are.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
Did you see this story about 1 million bees that joined bumper-to-bumper traffic? A truck carrying these bees, about 1 million of them, was crashing and shut down an exit on I-40 in Knoxville, Tennessee, the other day. Can you imagine being in traffic?
I didn't see that, but what is somebody buying 1 million bees? What are they doing? Is it like somebody making honey or something?
Maybe a giant honey maker or something.
Okay.
I don't know, but 1 million bees. It's
Wow.
hard to imagine that, but
That is.
you know, I don't know if you've ever been stung by a bee, but you know,
I
that's
have.
not something you want to
No.
do twice. That's for
No.
sure. But honeybees are, I guess if these were honeybees, I don't know that they were, but if these were honeybees, I suppose that
They're not as aggressive. I know all the bees in my area
Yeah.
here in Tucson are all Africanized. I guess pretty much all of them. No, they really are. So they're all aggressive.
Oh, I know, man. I hate those things, but
I know.
honeybees I got no problem with. But
Yeah.
I don't want
There's
million. of them.
There's fewer and fewer out there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We need to protect
Sad.
them.
Yeah.
And honey is something that is really interesting.
It's amazing stuff. Yeah.
I just found this out a few years ago. Honey does not go bad.
I know.
mean,
It's
for
true.
hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, it never goes bad.
It's fine. So,
Yeah.
hey, something you can incorporate into your diet, or maybe even use it in your coffee.
Yeah, it's supposed to help with
Yeah.
allergies. It's supposed to help with sleep if you take a spoonful of honey before you go to bed.
Great
it's supposed
stuff.
to regulate your blood sugar. I mean, there's a lot of good benefits to it.
Exactly
Local honey.
right. Yeah,
Not
I've been hearing
store bought.
lately a lot of people mixing honey with cinnamon. I don't know if that works. or not.
Yeah, they have those sticks with cinnamon in them too. I've seen
Yeah.
those that they sell.
So I
But
don't
you got to make sure it's local honey. You don't want to buy the store-bought stuff
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
for allergies and stuff.
That certainly applies
a big deal.
in a lot of cases with a lot of products out
Yeah.
there. So, now let's talk about connecting with an advisor, because your finances are more than a spreadsheet. Like it or not, your money touches nearly every part of your life in some way or another. Your family, goals, hobbies, fears, values all play a role in your financial plan. How can you know that you not only trust an advisor, but that you can connect with them and feel like they really get you? They understand what's important to you and the things that you need in your life. Well, I suppose one way you can tell right away is the conversation starts with your life. Like Mark Silverman is going to ask you questions about your life, what's important to you, and what your hopes and dreams are, this kind of thing, instead of starting to talk about numbers right away. I know that's absolutely true.
Yeah, we do things differently. I mean, like, again, there's advisors, or I guess I should say, again, financial salespeople out there who are just there to sell you products. It's a transactional type of business for them. And they're not really, all they're looking for is your statements to see how much money they can move into a product so they can get a big commission. We don't do that. We start with financial life planning. So we're asking lots of good questions. Yes, we do need to collect the data and all that at some point, but we're asking questions about your money history. How did you grow up with money? Did you not grow up with money? How do you feel about making financial decisions? What's important to you? So there's lots of different things. Part of that is like I said, part of the financial life planning process. Part of it is being a certified financial planner. And then I'm also a BFA, which is a behavioral financial advisor as well. Mm-hmm. So understanding the emotional side of money is something that I've had training on as well, to help people kind of connect the money to the emotional side for people, to help them figure out what their goals are.
And you hear from these so-called financial experts who are really just salespeople pushing products.
Correct.
You hear from them all the time.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's what's on the radio. I mean, I won't mention names, but it rhymes with Cajun. I'll say it that again.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
So
The bottom line here is basically a financial advisor, a fiduciary, a person like Mark Silverman is interested in finding out about you, and he listens first and foremost before putting together any kind of a plan for you, because everybody is different.
exactly.
Yeah, he's got to find out more about you, and the strategy can't really come together unless Mark knows you.
Correct.
That's absolutely
Correct.
true.
And we ask the right questions. I mean, we have paperwork and tools that we use that are specifically designed to get a really good understanding. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but I've had people that came and work with us and going through the process, and they'll tell me, I know you know more about me than my previous advisor who I've worked with for 20 years. And this is within a month or two, because we ask a lot of good questions and we really want to get to understand the client. So we can help guide them through that process to make sure that the money that they have is doing the things that they want it to. Because, at the end of the day, money is just a tool.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of these financial people out here use all this fancy jargon and kind of talk over your head and talk as if you're a financial expert and you know all the terms and all that kind of thing. But the really good thing about talking to Mark Silverman is he communicates the same way you do. I mean, and that communication is so important.
Yeah, it's about listening, and asking the right questions. And too many people are there with a sales pitch. They're just there to see how much money you have, and they're going to do the same for everybody. It's just kind of a one-stop shop, and they're going to use the hot product of the day and put everybody into that and kind of churn and burn. So it's asking questions, it's giving advice, and it's really listening to what people's needs are and coming up with customized solutions and not treating everybody the same.
When you are comfortable communicating with somebody like that, you're certainly very happy to be honest, and it really is a very important part of the process. You ask people to be honest with you, and you will be honest with them, no question.
Yeah. There's no silver bullet in what we're doing. You've got to be honest, and you've got to treat people like you want to be treated, and it's asking the right questions, getting that information, and if they're not going to be forthright with you and upfront, it's just not going to work. So it's got to be where it's a two-way communication where I'm asking questions, getting that information. It's like going to a doctor and not disclosing everything to them. How can they do their job if you're not being forthright with them as well? So it's the same thing here. You've got to be upfront and honest here. We've all done things right. We've all done things wrong. So you've got to be, fess up and talk about the things that you've done that are wrong. So we try not to make the same mistakes again, and we can kind of move forward and make the best decision we can based on where you are right now. I'm
going to give you the phone number to call in just a moment to arrange a conversation, a 20-minute long conversation with Mark Silverman. And, the key is that trust is something that's built over time. And when you have a financial advisor like Mark Silverman, it's going to be a long-term relationship, which is very important. He's not going to know everything about you right away, but it's going to take time for you to get to know him. He can get to know you and then build things together. Yeah, we're looking to build relationships. This is not a transactional business for us, whereas with other firms that is, they're just looking to sell a product. But yeah, trust takes time to build. And on the other side of it, trust can be destroyed very easily. So you've got to do what's right. And if somebody's not answering the questions, or they're kind of being vague about things, that's a sign that maybe that's somebody you don't want to work with. So everything should be up front, even as much as compensation. People come to me that have bought these annuities from other people or these life insurance products and say, I don't even know how they said that it didn't cost me anything to buy this. Well, obviously that's not true. The person selling those products get paid, and it's a fair question to ask them what they got paid. And I can tell you, for some of these annuities, it's 7 or 8% up front, which is pretty significant. And our fees are very transparent. We're not working for free, but our fees are very transparent on what we're making. We're not making 7 or 8%, I can tell you that. So, but in order to understand value, you've got to understand what you're paying. So it's a fair question. You should understand how much the compensation is for some of these other people, and if they don't want to answer that question, or they're not sure, which obviously they're sure, it's somebody you probably don't want to do business with. Yeah, and when you start talking about 7 or 8%, I mean, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Exactly.
hurts.
It's got to come out from somewhere.
When somebody decides to make that phone call to your office, like hopefully a lot of people will today, after today's show, or maybe even during this show, and they call, leave a message, what's your very first conversation going to be like?
It's really driven by the client, whether we're talking about a specific question or concern that they may have about our process. It really is, it's not a cookie cutter type of thing. It's really understanding to make sure that seeing what their concerns are and answering their questions and maybe pointing them in the right direction, or maybe they're interested in seeing what it would be like to work with us. We can certainly talk about that as well. So it just depends on what, every situation is different. So we don't have like a boilerplate type of conversation with people. It's customized to what's on their mind and getting some information, and if they're learning more about us or learning more about them, to see if we're a good fit.
Find out what the True Wealth Financial Life Planning process is all about from Mark Silverman. And he does this show, of course, all the time, because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life. It impacts it in so many ways. It's amazing. 520-333-7601. 520-333-7601. Call or text to that number. Leave a message with your name and your phone number, and you'll get a call back, and then you can set a time to have a conversation with Mark Silverman. Again, he is the managing member and the founder of Silverman & Associates. He's your certified financial planner professional at Silverman & Associates. And the number, once again, is 520-333-7601. You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601. Or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.